So, as I talked about yesterday, moments after it broke, for me anyway, DC and Warner Brothers are going to be officially releasing in theaters a Plastic Man movie. Now, the catch is, though, it's not going to be Plastic Man, it's going to be Plastic Woman, because basically it's going to be a female led, female centric film. The reason being, mostly, I'm sure a lot of people will connect it to this, is because it has a female director, maybe writer as well, behind it. And I know a lot of people are going to come out and say, why, or ask why are they doing this? Why can't they stay true to who the character originally was? And, that's a good question. That is a good question. Why can't they stay true to who the character originally was? And I think it's because they're going to go in a direction that a lot of people assume Joker takes place in, or the upcoming Robert Pattinson Batman film takes place in, and that's an alternate universe, a universe that's different than what we've seen recently. I mean, with the upcoming Flash movie, basically kind of, making that a priority, just like with Doctor Strange and the madness of the multiverse. I think, the people behind the idea to do this movie are like, well, what if in another version of the DC universe, it was a woman that got the Plastic Man powers and not a man? And I think that's what they're going to go with. So we have to look at it like that. We have to look at the fact that instead of a male getting it, it's a female, and the fact that it probably takes place in an alternate universe, completely separate from, let's say, the universe that the Justice League and Wonder Woman 84 and the Flash and Aquaman and Batman v Superman take place in. So I think that's the direction that they're going to go with, in my opinion. I think that's the direction they're heading towards with this film. And that would possibly explain why, in a way, it's going to be female led and not male led. Now, the other reason I think as well is, and being a guy myself, and I say this with no disrespect to my fellow men out there, but being a guy myself, there's so much you can do with a male character. There's just so much you can do. I mean, you can do endless possibilities, but at times you're limited to what the imagination can offer. And again, I say this with all due respect, no offense, but women have more vivid imaginations than men. They can be more vividly creative than men, and I think that's why they're going with a female-led Plastic Woman or Plastic Man, Plastic Woman movie in the next few years, because perhaps the character that's going to be the Plastic Woman in this version, maybe in the script, is going to be more vividly creative of, what she can do with these powers that she has. Like, how creative can she get? What can she shapeshift into? How powerful is she? Can she, as I said in the other video, can she Can she melt down to a almost near liquefied puddle and slither down through cracks? Can she shapeshift into inanimate objects or clothing? Can she change her appearance and become somebody else? These are a lot of things that they might place into the script because, again, I say this with all due respect, no offense, women, unlike men, have more vivid imaginations and more vivid creative minds behind them. And I think that's why they want to go in this direction with a female-led Plastic Man, Plastic Woman film, because they can find more creativity coming. They can pretty much picture, I should say, more creativity coming out of a woman with those powers than a male. Not saying that with the Plastic Man character in comics and in the show, in the various animated and if not live action adaptations they've done of him, that he hasn't proved to be creative. He hasn't proved to be, hasn't proved to have a vivid imagination. But obviously, if you were to, really kind of ask yourself, okay, who would be more creatively, imaginative with the powers? Would it be a male or a female? And most of the time, people will say female. They're going to go in that direction. Both men and women will point in that direction, that the female is more creative and more vividly imaginative to whatever comes to mind. And I think that's why they want to go in that direction. Another thing as well is if it's going to be like Shazam, which was and is a comedy action movie by DC, which is kind of a standalone thing itself. You can only imagine that this is going to go in that same route of being a standalone DC Comics action comedy movie, and the comedy is going to come from the lead actress that portrays the Plastic Woman, and the fun and mischievousness, I should say, that she gets into with these powers. Like I can imagine them doing a scene or dedicating a scene or so to her just having fun with these powers, shape-shifting into a lot of things, melting down maybe to near liquefaction, shape-shifting into inanimate objects, becoming different people, both male and female, becoming animals, the whole 9 yards, becoming plants maybe, becoming clothing. I can imagine them doing that. Not saying they will, but I can imagine them possibly thinking, okay, this could be something we can go with, we can work with. So yeah, I think that's why we're getting a female-led Plastic Man / Plastic Woman film by DC and Warner Brothers, because, one, they're probably going to have it take place in an alternate universe where the female, well, woman, I should say, gets the powers instead of a man. And they're also doing it because, again, I say this with all due respect, no offense, women have more creative and minds and more of a vivid imagination than the men do. And there's so much more you can do with that over a male lead, as crazy as that sounds. So I think that's why they're doing it. And again, I think in the long run, we have to remember this is probably the direction they want to go in, so that it ties in maybe with what's going to happen in the Flash movie down the line. But let me know what you guys think. What are your thoughts on the fact that we're going to get a female-led Plastic Man, Plastic Woman movie? Do you think this is going to be the direction to go in, where it takes place in an alternate universe to tie in with what's going to happen with the Flash? And do you think it's because women, again, no offense when I say this, have more creative and minds and more of a vivid imagination than men? Let me know down below. Comment if you like. I'd like to hear what your thoughts are on it, and I'll talk to y'all later.